Welcome, baseball family, to this week's Baseball Together Thursday Night Live Party. I am one of your hosts. My name is Brad, and to my left, I have our guy Brig. How are you this evening, Brig?
Not as good as Julio Rodriguez, but I'm doing really pretty good. How are you, Brad?
Again, not as good as Julio Rodriguez, but I'm doing pretty well. Let's get into it, Brig, because this is convoluted and confusing as contract talk gets. So for those of you who didn't see, Julio Rodriguez has been actually signed a contract extension with the Seattle Mariners for the rest of forever. Brig, I was out on the water in the Pacific Northwest crabbing, and our good friend Jewel texted me. He's like, "Did you see this? Did you see this?" My phone is blowing up in my pocket, and I'm pulling crab traps out of the water. You can feel my phone just like vibrating like crazy, and I'm like, "Dinner's coming, baby. I don't even care what's on the phone." So then I sat
Two
down.
life-changing moments at the same time.
Right? Amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But, so anyway, so here are some of the details. Jeff Passan has the deets in the tweets, so we're going to get into it. So I'm just going to read this because I could not sum it up any better than he did, because you can tell that he finds it confusing as well. So here we go.
Right. Yeah.
Jeff Passan, per Twitter, says, "There's a lot to digest on Julio Rodriguez extension with Seattle per ESPN sources. The deal could be worth 8, 13, 16, or 18 years. Side note, he's 21 right now.
Right.
So they could have him till he's 39 potentially. It guarantees Rodriguez $210 million. If it maxes out, it will be the largest ever, $470 million. The details are important. Here they are. There's a thread of 4 more tweets by Passan here. Okay, here we go. Buckle up. It's a lot. So the base of the deal is for 8 years and $120 million. It includes this season and runs through 2029. After 2028, the Mariners must decide whether to pick up a club option. The size and length of that depends on Rodriguez's performance in MVP voting. So like if he wins the MVP or even finishes top 3, there are some incentives to grow his paychecks. The option is for 8 or 10 years on top of the original deal, depending on how Rodriguez fares in MVP voting, wins and finishes. It can range anywhere from $200 to $350 million. If the Mariners pick up the option, Rodriguez's guarantee in the deal is at least $320 million. Now, if the Mariners don't pick up the option after year 7, Rodriguez has a player option after year 8 for 5 years and $90 million. Thus, this is how you know it's confusing, Brig, because Passan brings in lawyer language and decides to say thus.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, the 13-year structure and $210 million floor. He could turn it down and hit free agency right before his 30th birthday, too. Wow. That's a lot of money to turn down, though. But
it feels like a great deal for everyone.
It does. So there's one more. The likeliest outcome, Julio Rodriguez is a Seattle Mariner through 2037 and makes at least $320 million. Probably much more. And if he turns into the monster that he has shown he is in his rookie season, it could be the most financially lucrative deal in American sports history. Team-friendly, Julio gets the bag, and it is the first contract that expires after Bobby Bonilla's.
Whoa!
He's the only active player it was guaranteed at this point to be paid after Bobby Bonilla is no longer getting paid by the Mets.
Whoa! Okay, that's a big deal.
That's significant, right?
Yeah.
Just to put things into perspective for everybody, that's a really long time.
Yeah. That's well said, Brad. That's a good perspective. I appreciate you putting it into such clear terms for all of us.
Just in case you didn't know before, in case you didn't have perspective of how long it is until we reach 2037.
It's a lot.
A lot of years. I don't have
That's
my
really big
calculator
math.
on me, but
Check out the big brain on Brad.
so I do have to tell you this though. Something funny has happened since this deal was signed.
Okay.
And I didn't tell you about this because I wasn't going to bring it up, but I decided to before we came on because that would be funny. So something funny and pretty petty that has happened since this was signed was Jared Kelnick erased all semblance of being a Mariner from his Instagram and unfollowed the Seattle Mariners. For those of you who don't keep track, this is something that diva NFL players do.
Yeah.
There have been a couple quarterbacks and I think some receivers who have done it in the last year. But the difference is that those guys are worth at least $100 million. At this point, Jared Kelnick is having a hard time getting on the big league roster.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and don't get me wrong, like I was like tooting the Jared Kelnick horn. I
Pretty
was
hard.
like waving the flag, everything.
Yeah.
I still think he has a chance. He could be a pretty good big leaguer, but he's got to figure it out between the ears. And until he does that, I'm like, dude, you belong in the minors. And but yeah, it was just a funny thing that I saw this weekend. It's like, oh my goodness,
Man, that sucks. It's so stupid.
So anyway, so I was at a Mariners game. I went to a Mariners game on Saturday night. It was Ichiro Hall of Fame weekend where they inducted Ichiro into the Mariners Hall of Fame, and a little dusty in the stadium. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
But I went ahead, since they had agreed to the deal, I went ahead and got myself a Julio Rodriguez jersey, dropped the cash
Yes!
on it, and bought it. And it's fantastic.
The breakdown begins. I love it. I'm very
It's
happy for
amazing.
you. What color?
Thank you. It was white. So I'll be honest with you, Brigas. I was incredibly disappointed in the selection of jerseys available at the team store at T-Mobile. That team store is enormous, but their jersey section is about this big, and pretty much all he had was like white. I really wanted to get teal or the baby blue spring training jersey, but I was like, you know what? I'm here. I wanted to buy one at the stadium. I don't want to order it online because I want to make sure it fits and everything's right on it. So I went ahead and bought it, and I'm actually very happy with it. The white is really, really sharp. It's really crisp.
Sure.
So he's very good.
Very good is right.
But speaking of dropping money on expensive things, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to support us on Patreon, because as we say every single time, it is cheaper than one of Brig's bougie cups of coffee. We have $5, $10, and $15 tiers where you can support the podcast. You can get a hat, t-shirt, whatever tier you decide to get in on. But everybody gets the uncut, unedited version of the podcast each week called the Bullpen Cut. It's a lot of fun. We think you would enjoy it. Go check us out on Patreon, search Baseball Together. You can get in for as low as $5. And I know some of you guys are paying for bougie coffee just like Brig.
I do it. I definitely do it.
Because it's delicious. Anyway.
It is delicious and nutritious.
Depends on what kind you get, Brig.
That's not true. If you want to know what kind I get, go on TikTok because I put it up there for you.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a minor league baseball union. This is a scary thing for Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Really it is. And the big thing this comes down to is that then players have representation against terrible working conditions, terrible wages, all of it. Brave, do you think
hours and all?
Yeah. Do you think that this would be a good thing for minor league baseball, Major League Baseball?
It's a good thing for minor league baseball, and I think that it'll iron itself out in the long run and be good for Major League Baseball as well.
I think it will too. Eventually, the initial implementation of it, like there's going to be a hit, obviously in the minor league level, because one of the things I read, and this is one of the concerns I've always had about a minor league union, is that players getting paid more in the minor leagues is going to make owners be like, well, then there's going to be less of you.
Yeah, way fewer.
We got rid of
leaguers.
rookie ball.
Right.
We're going to get rid of short season A.
Yeah, that's right.
You want to make more money? All right, we'll get rid of advanced A. We'll just have double A and triple A. That's all we'll be affiliated with.
It's
And
rough.
fewer and fewer. And eventually, I mean, I don't know that the top level will necessarily suffer because of this. It feels like my knee-jerk reaction is that the big league level will suffer by having fewer minor league levels because the cream really has to rise to the top. But at the same time, you're getting guys in there who are already the cream rising to the top, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's obviously from like a human perspective, it's great.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
From like opportunities for advancement and protection of your assets from a business perspective, it's good. It's good as protecting your asset as a player, right? Your arm, your talent, whatever. But I don't know. I think that you're right. Major League Baseball is going to lash out pretty hard at this idea. And it makes me wonder. I can't help but see chess pieces moving on this and wonder like what else is about it, right? I know this has been highly publicized and there have been really deep dive investigative journalist pieces on the working conditions and the status of players and all that in the minor leagues. But I'm wondering what else has Tony Clark got going on that he could use to leverage this, right? Because this, what you end up with this deal like this is a banquet of negotiation pieces. Look, it's a whole freaking smorgasbord of things to talk about and deal with and negotiate. And, you know, that could be anything from a smoke and mirrors opportunity, or it could be, you know, like, let's see if you can play nice. And if not, then we have another opportunity to say, look, you don't play nice. There's so much going on here. I don't think it's just dollars and cents, and I don't think it's just working conditions and years. I think it's a lot more detailed than that. And it's really easy for Tony Clark and minor league baseball to hide behind the human factor and to say, we're just trying to make better working conditions and we're just trying to make sure they get paid, et cetera. But I think that, you know, at that level of business and at that level of strategy, there's probably a whole lot more going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the working conditions, the pay and the hours and stuff is just the very top level, right?
Yeah,
that's just skiing right across the top. You could scuba
Yeah.
dive to the bottom of the ocean and maybe scrape the bottom, like start scraping more of the top of this. There's a lot of nuance to it, a lot going on here. I think that's something we're going to have to follow pretty closely as this develops.
Totally.
Because we are big fans of minor league baseball, and one of the reasons we liked it so much is because it was around. It was going to be around with the lockout. Right? Like that's one of the things is that it feels like it's like fan first baseball because
it is. Yep. Fan first baseball. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's get into injury news and notes. So one of the most interesting injuries I've seen over the years happened this week. Aroldis Chapman went to the IL with an infection on his leg, right?
Yep.
From a tattoo. Now, we know this is something that can happen. Obviously, you're breaking the skin, it's bleeding, things like that.
Sure.
But I don't feel like it happens often, especially with a guy who's probably paying that much to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty gnarly.
You figure he's doing it right. You know, it's not some back alley tattoo parlor.
Yeah. He doesn't have a friend with a needle and a
big lighter. No.
A big lighter and a big pen.
and a guitar string. This is not that. No.
Exactly. Yeah,
no.
It's so strange.
Stupid. This is the dumbest thing. I'm so angry. And I want from now on, I want there to be a clause in every single contract from now on that says no tattoos midseason. Like none. No body alterations at all unless it's medically necessary midway through the season.
It does make sense to not get tattoos because especially like how long did yours take to heal?
I don't know. Like
a couple days.
No, it was way longer than that.
Was it?
Yes.
So what?
It was huge.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know.
Here's the this is the most United States military thing to ever come out of baseball. It's like now there's these dumb rules because somebody was super dumb. Where most people are like, huh? What's the story there?
It's like that episode of How I Met Your Mother when they're like, everywhere there's a sign, there was a story that led to that sign being put up. It's the exact same.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
It's hilarious and
So,
so stupid.
for all this Chapman not pitching for a little while, it looks like. But Tony Gonsolin, the Catman, he is on the IL with a forearm strain. That's trouble.
Yep.
That's
I
not
know.
not good. Dustin May, though, is back now. So it's like they just swapped them out, right?
Which is
But he just
good.
came back from Tommy John. I believe
Right.
he had a forearm strain originally.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So that would just be a bummer for Gonsolin to have to go get Tommy John with the season he's having.
And this close to the postseason and everything, like,
Mhm.
so if you look on the official report, I don't think he's listed on any sort of IL. They're just calling it elbow strain or something right now, a forearm strain or something.
Okay.
But there's,
I thought the one that I read that said that he was, but maybe not.
I don't
fine.
know. I don't know if it's been officially declared. They might have said he needs Tommy John. And we're looking at it at the end of the season, but I haven't seen anything that makes it official, like he's out, roster spot available.
Well,
which
I'm not
for him. I hope is encouraging, and I mean, we don't want to see guys hurt ever, but
right, yeah, especially guys who are having a career year. Like that's such a bummer. Like that was like Tyler Glasnow last year when he had Tommy John. He's having such a great year. Yeah, so it says that I have, according to the score, it says that Gonsolin is on the injured list with a forearm strain, retroactive to August 26th.
Right, but it's not out for the season thing. It's
no.
He's going to be back like the 10th or something like that, right?
He could potentially be back, but that's the thing is that it's always the forearm strain, and then it doesn't heal. They look at it again, and then it's Tommy John is the problem.
You're absolutely
hopefully
right.
It is just a forearm strain. Speaking of guys coming back from Tommy John, though, Justin Verlander's doing it better than just about anybody this year. But he is now on the 15-day IL with a calf injury.
It's true.
It is his right calf, which is his push-off leg. I read the article, and he's like, well, it's not a muscle issue. It's which could be really bad. Instead, it's a fascia issue.
Yeah.
Which is just connective tissue. I was like, all right, if you can get that to heal, you should be okay.
Go find a rolfing specialist.
Oh.
ROLFING, rolfing. Yeah. Look it up.
Type that into your Google machine.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Shane McClanahan also has gone to the IL with the shoulder injury. This is crazy. Number 1 and number 2 most likely to win Cy Young in the AL are now on the IL.
Yep.
That stinks for baseball.
Yeah, it's bad.
Not good.
Bad for baseball.
And then the last one we have Fernando Tatis Jr. More Fernando Tatis Jr. He is finally having surgery on his shoulder that he dislocated several times last year. As I read the article, said that the Padres had tried like several times to get him to have shoulder surgery, like in the off season, before I think it was before the CBA, and then coming back in when they found out that he was going to be out for a while. They're like, just go get it, but he wouldn't do it. And now that he's going to miss the rest of the season, part of next, he's like, all right, I guess I'll do it. So
yeah,
there it is. So there are some significant injury news and notes. Let's talk about something that was brought to our attention today, Brig.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Edwin? Well, so let's talk about Edwin Diaz for a minute. First, if you don't know his walkout song this year, go check it out.
If you don't know Edwin Diaz,
well, there's that.
You really need to know who Edwin Diaz is. He's about the best closer in all of baseball right now, if not the best.
He is. And you know what's funny, Brig, is that he went with Robbie Cano, don't you know, to the Mets in exchange for Jared Kelnick and a couple other guys.
Yeah.
And for a while, because Diaz was good, not great last year, and then there was the whole Robbie Cano thing. And Mariners fans, we were all like, oh, dude, the Mariners totally won this trade. We got Kelnick, the future, everything. And then now it's like, man, that trade sure went the opposite way in a hurry.
Big time. Fast.
Big time. So
he just hit 103. Was it yesterday?
I think he hits 103 regularly. That dude's got a cannon.
It's insane.
An absolute cannon. But so he has this amazing walkout song. It's called Narco. Yeah. And apparently some people are taking issue with this on the internet and saying that it is inappropriate.
That's what we heard.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
It's amazing, and it's an outstanding pump up song. I think this might have replaced my preferential like number one walkout song for a closer ever.
Which was Enter Sandman?
No, it's so I always thought that Until We Die by Escape the Fate would be an amazing walkout song. The one that's the best that's never used. How's that? Enter Sandman's pretty good. It's pretty better than pretty good. It's amazing.
It's first year unanimous Hall of Fame vote. Good.
Well, the player is. But anyway.
Same.
They're mutually exclusive.
No.
Anyway. No. But this I feel like might take it though, because it's different. It's it's like a different tempo and pace than what you would get from anywhere else, and I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. If you know why people think it's inappropriate, let us know in the comments, because we have no idea.
We heard, what was it we heard? It's not, did we hear it's not patriotic, or is it just inappropriate? And we thought, now hold on. This dude, Edwin Diaz, is from Puerto Rico, first of all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And second of all, the artist who wrote the song, it's an electronic dance music song. It's EDM. It's a house party music. And the guy who wrote it is like Dutch. And his co-artist on it, Timmy Trumpet, is from Australia.
And he played at City Field.
He did
last night. It was
for the Dodgers
awesome.
Game. No, it was so good, dude. And
so
if you have not seen that video, you got to go see it, because there's Timmy in his hat, his fedora, and his sunglasses, and he's wearing a black is his thing. He's wearing a black Mets jersey, and he's got the chains out, and Diaz comes out, and that beat starts going, and he pulls his trumpet out and does it live. Oh, it was, they said Goosebumps Central. Like the whole place went nuts.
If they don't do that during the postseason at least once, they're doing baseball wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Timmy Trumpet said that he's now a Mets fan for life. He said it was surreal. Everything about it was undeniably amazing. He said he'll be a Mets fan the rest of his life. I thought it was really cool.
He ought to be. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely amazing. All right, before we get into the games of the week, let's talk about the big show. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, wherever you get podcasts, you'll catch the big show, the Baseball Together podcast, every Tuesday. New episodes are in your phone or on the YouTubes every Tuesday morning. First thing, subscribe so you don't miss it. This last week, we talked to somebody named David Page. He was a creator of a show you might have heard of called Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. It was a ton of fun. He was so funny. Absolutely killed both of us.
Great conversation.
He did answer the question for us: is a hot dog a sandwich? Go check it out and see what he says. It's a little bugged, I think, that I asked it, but
you did. It was so good. I was bugged because I didn't know I was having that existential crisis until you brought it up. And now I'm so glad he had an answer, because I wasn't able to stop thinking about it from that moment on.
He had a reasonable answer, and I liked it. But go listen to the interview. It was a lot of fun. All right, Brig, you want to kick us off with the games of the week?
Absolutely. So let's start Friday. Apple TV, it has your Marlins will be in Atlanta facing the Braves. The Marlins are 55-75. Atlanta Braves are 80-51. They've reached 80 games. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern. Out of their last 10, Miami is officially at 3 wins and 7 losses. And Atlanta is 6-4 in their last 10. Then you can move over to the Phillies-Giants game at 10 p.m. Eastern, also on Apple TV+. Phillies are 73-58. They're not doing too bad. And the Giants 61-68. Things are pretty much over out in San Francisco. I'm not saying they're mathematically eliminated or anything, but it's rough if they wanted to do anything. Phillies out of their last 10 are 7-3. San Francisco 2 out of 8 and have lost 7 straight. So
can you believe how far the Giants have fallen since last year?
No,
they had the best record in baseball.
It's insane.
It's absolutely insane.
Upsetting and bewildering, and you got to wonder. I mean, but Why don't you tell us about Saturday's games, Brad?
All right, I'll tell you about Saturday's games. So there's only a couple on TV. These games are on Fox at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and this coverage depends on your geographic location.
Yeah.
We have, like I said, both these are at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have the Twins at the White Sox. The Twins are 67 and 62. They are trying to get in. They're trying to take back the AL Central is what they're doing because they're not going to get in the wild card. There are a few games, too many games out. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
In the wild card. And you got the White Sox are 64 and 66. They are a couple days away from being just not mathematically eliminated, like Brig said, but they got a ways to go. Things have really fallen off for them. The Twins in the last 10 are 5-5. The White Sox are 3-7. They're going to be without Tony La Russa for a little while, addressing some medical issues. Not sure what exactly is going on there, but
nobody knows.
He's an old dude, so
and he's falling asleep.
Catches up with you. He's falling asleep. Yeah, that's right. The other Fox game, we got the Mariners at the Guardians. The Mariners are 72 and 58. The Guardians on top of the AL Central are 68 and 60. The Mariners in the last 10 are 7-3. One of those losses came from the Guardians over the weekend at the game I was at, actually.
Well, I know.
They lost the only game they lost in the series was the one I was at. I'm like 0-5 last decade at T-Mobile and Safeco. It's so bad. Wow. And the Guardians are 5-5 in their last 10.
Maybe you're not allowed to go back, Brad.
I'm not. That's what several people told me on Facebook. Like, don't come back. I'm like, I won't. I'll definitely stay away during the postseason forever.
Yeah, you would bury your head or something.
Because I'm 3-0 on the road, so I'll just go to road games. So
there you go. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. But I'll say this: the Guardians, in person, I was not overly impressed with them. It was one good inning was all they had to win that series or to win that game.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, but I mean, they're on top of the AL Central, so you got to give it to them what they have. But tell us about Wake Up and Baseball, Brig.
Wake Up and Baseball's on Peacock, noon Eastern Standard Time. Blue Jays will be playing the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Blue Jays are 70 and 59, and the Pirates are 49 and 81. The Blue Jays are in a rut right now. They're on the struggle bus. I don't think they're driving the struggle bus. I think Pittsburgh's driving the struggle bus. But they have decided to invite the Blue Jays onto the struggle bus with them and move them to Pittsburgh to have some fun on the struggle bus. So O'Neal Cruz, however, is fantastic. Everything about that guy seems to be electric. Dude. He's so much fun to watch. I watched him turn a double play the other day that made me afraid to say the words first base. Because that dude threw the ball so hard. I was like, and he's so big that he was halfway there by the time with his arm fully extended.
That's what's so crazy. He is Aaron Judge's height playing shortstop.
Yes, it's like the ball left his hand with his stride and his arm length. It's like he's third of the way. He's like 10 or 12 feet to home to the first base. Dude, it feels like 30 feet. Honestly, it feels like he's 30 feet toward
I'm sure, especially with how as fast as he moves. His strides is just going to be crazy when he's running.
It's insane.
But yeah, if I was a first baseman, I would be afraid of any ball that was not reaching me in the air.
Yeah. Oh, if it hopped. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, not scooping that.
I can think of I can think of maybe 2 or 3 first basemen in the whole league that could probably scoop one from him and be okay. Anyway, the 5-5, Toronto's 5-5 out of the last 10. Pittsburgh is 2-8 consistently.
Yes, perpetually 2-8 in their last 10.
Out of their last 10, they're 2-8.
And then Sunday night on ESPN at 7 p.m. Eastern. This is the last game of the weekend. Got the Padres at the Dodgers. This is going to be an outstanding series. The Padres have seemed to figure things out. They're 7-3 in their last 10. The Dodgers are 6-4. And the Dodgers, I feel like, are just in cruise control now. Right? Like, just coasting the rest of the way. Just make sure everybody stays healthy.
Yeah.
Because the Padres are in second place in the division, and they're 17 games back.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a lot.
It doesn't matter.
On September 1st. It
was funny. I was watching the game today, the Mets-Dodgers game today. Clayton Kershaw in the first inning walked, like they ended up with the bases loaded after a couple of situations, and he walked in an RBI, and Dave Roberts was like, "Eh,
we'll get it back."
He literally just sat there like, "That's no, you're good. Just don't hurt yourself. Don't do too much."
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
It's the first time Clayton Kershaw had walked in a runner since 2015, Brad.
Nice.
I was like,
Nice.
what?
That's amazing considering like how he's pitched the last couple of years. How he's had to
Right.
like change the way he pitches. That's awesome.
Change
I like
everything.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
I thought
cool.
That was cool.
That's really cool. Tell us about your Yankees this weekend, Brig.
Nope. Thank you. Moving on.
Okay, well the Yankees are playing the Rays. This is a big deal because the Yankees are 6-4 in their last 10. The Rays are 8-2.
Brad, I'm
the
scared.
Yankees are 79-52 overall. The Rays 72-57. We thought the Yankees were untouchable.
No.
I thought the Rays were going down with all their injuries.
Yeah.
They're coming for you.
I know. Okay. You act like I don't know. What, you sitting there staring at me like you think I don't know? I know. Okay. I've even started wearing inverted pinstripes. I'm in pre-morning, Brad. I'm not all the way anticipating problems in the future of my life, but I'm close to that.
Do you have like a lucky rabbit's foot or something? Or anything?
You're my lucky rabbit's foot, Brad.
Okay.
Will you fly out here so I can rub your belly or something?
Rub my beard.
Something is. No, you cut it off. It's not lucky anymore.
That's the problem. That's the problem the Yankees are having. And maybe that's why the Mariners are playing so well now. Oh.
No, we did not just speak that into existence. You knock it off.
You're right. It was the Hadron Collider anyway.
It was
the
Swiss or wherever it is.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. But hey, baseball family, thank you so much for joining us for our Thursday Night Live. Don't forget to hop on to ChinookSeedery.com where you can get the best seeds ever. You can also get 10% off of them and support the show by using code BTPOD. They're fantastic. I came up with a little jingle. Go check it out on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, you did.
If you want to hear my singing with the Chinook Seedery jingle.
Word.
Brig, tell them about the shop.
Yeah, don't forget to jump on the shop at 9plusus.com. NINEPLUSUS.com. 9plusus.com. Spell it all the way out. You can get yourself some sweet merch. I'm wearing my baseball things hats, part of our pop culture collection. Brad's got his autism awareness baseball together shirt with the puzzle piece on there in autism blue. So there's lots of cool stuff on there, and we'd love to support your gift giving efforts. My kid just started 6U coach pitch today, and now I have to look for stuff in navy and Columbia blue. So I will be, I'll be wearing Rays colors.
Cool.
That's very exciting.
That's fun. Very cool. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review the show. Let us know what you think about what we're doing. We'd love to hear from you. You can jump in the mailbag and send us an email. That's on baseballtogether.com. There's a link to that page and that site in the description of every single episode. But baseball family, thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you next week.